Get some big. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Nice, man.
This one right here will one day become a future giant.
Yeah.
I think it's about 45 pounds plus, 75, 71.
Yeah. Beautiful
Yeah.
fish, man. This is actually my first one I've ever seen in Oklahoma. Wow. Doing part 2. Is he there still?
Yep, it's gone.
Part 2. Jay kicked my butt catfish. It's a 3D show. Okay, we got a giant one on, man. Big hit. All right, Chase getting that bell off. It went off. I had to set that hook real quick, but Chase getting it right now. Come on, man. Nice. Let's go. I'm gonna get that net.
Yeah, get the net ready.
Okay. Yeah. Bring him on over here. Let's go, Chase. I'm gonna go down there real quick, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, dang, man. Let's go. Come on, man. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. It doesn't fit in the net, bro.
Get some big. Let's fucking go.
Gosh.
I can already tell
Let's
by the
go.
way.
Let's freaking go,
5
man.
years later.
Dude. We gotta get a scale on this, like right freaking now.
Scale.
Oh, dang, my boot. That's all right, though.
It's all good. Hey,
He is fat.
here, let me sit in that, and then I'll having you a fucking champ for setting that hook. I gotta give you some credit.
Well, you were preoccupied, man. I just set the hook and you took care of the rest. Right away, though, I could tell, man. It was, it wasn't a log on the ground, but it wasn't a dink either.
It wasn't a little guy. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you let the little ones go.
You get blessed by the fish gods.
That's right.
Dude, that is an amazing flathead, dude. Let's freaking go, dude. You're gonna be on my channel right freaking away, man.
That's right.
Let's go.
Hey, if you get a chance, hey, subscribe to Land Eagle 79.
Out here at Partnership Channel, man. Let's go. Let's go. We're getting a weight on her right now.
All right.
Let's go.
13.82.
Nice, man. Shay's releasing right now. All right. Go off, Big Bertha. Nice, bro. Congrats, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Here, I'm gonna slime you. Slime me.
What is up, y'all? So we are out here fishing for catfish, and today I want to show you guys how to fillet a catfish. So this is how you guys fillet a catfish. So you're gonna want to find the rib cage, which is kind of right here. And there's a little bit of meat you can save up here, especially on bigger ones, but a lot of time it's not worth it. Just find the rib cage, go in there and just start cutting. Just start cutting. And you work your way into you're looking for this, basically the spine bone right here. You work your way all the way there, and you just come across. And you want to get all that meat that's in between the spine bone on this side, and then basically to the skin. And there's a little bit of meat down here, but you don't want to get too low because there's a gut sac in here, and you don't want to puncture that. So you just keep continuing. And as you're doing this, you want to kind of curl the knife. So you bring it up to avoid the spine bone, and then back down to touch it. So you kind of know where that spine bone is. Keep coming down. You want a flat surface to do this on, by the way. can kind of get closer to this bottom side as you're coming down, because there's no guts down here, or there's very little, if any. And this applies to pretty much all fish that I'm showing you right here. Just keep going, keep going. And as you're coming to the end of the tail, you stop. And there's your fillet. And you're gonna wanna take off the skin first. So you bring it right on over here, kind of pull on it a little bit to kind of expose some of the skin right here. Pull a little bit more, you kind of expose it, and you get your knife right in there. It'll be easy. Don't cut too far down, don't cut too far up, because you want to get as much meat as possible while still taking the skin off. And once you find it, you kind of just keep coming in, and you kind of tilt your knife slightly downwards, kind of like that, and just keep following it down. Now, ideally, you have a table to do this on, not on just a flat concrete surface. You just want to keep following it down. Check and bring up your meat a little bit to kind of check where you are, so you're not losing too much from on the skin. And you just finish it up like that. From there, it's a nice fillet. You do the same on the other side. You have to clean this up, of course, but there you go. All right, what's up, y'all? So we're gonna cook this catfish. All right, so we have our fillets right here, and of course you guys saw how that filleting process works. Right here we have a little bit of egg, and it really doesn't matter what's in here besides the egg. You can use just basic milk. If you like a little bit spicier, you can use like actually just a bunch of hot sauce, cream, really anything you can put in here. But this is a little bit more important right here. So our seasoning combinations. So this right here is 1 cup cornmeal, a 1/4 cup flour, and then just a splash of slap your mama Cajun seasoning. You know, and be as liberal with this as your spice tolerance is, really. So then you just start mixing it up. All right, so with these fillets, I like to do thirds on a bigger enough fillet. Really, like this size is pretty decent. It's a little thin, but I'm gonna show you guys how I'd want these cut. If you have a really bad, which these fish actually didn't have it bad at all, but if you have a really dark line right down this middle section of the spine, you should actually just cut that out. So 2 thin cuts and cut that out. That can add some fishiness to the fish, just some weird tastes, but this fish is actually pretty good, so we're just gonna go right to it. So I wanna cut this like right here. And this fish, by the way, has been soaking in salt water for about 24 hours. So we're just gonna go right in there and now start this up. So you just start by taking your fish right here. Just put it right in there. I like to save one hand. I like to save one hand for the base and the other hand for the breading. So let's get this out of the way. So you just kind of take one hand, kind of throw it around a little bit. And this is important. Let it just drip off. You want as little of this on there as possible, because it can actually fall off when you get it in here and mix a mess. Kind of throw it around a little bit, and boom. And just flip them around. Use the other hand. Get a little bit of seasoning on there. Flip it around. Give it some good toss. Boom, and there you go. So we're actually gonna be using some peanut oil, it's right there, for the frying process. I'll show you guys that momentarily. Alrighty, so for the next part of this meal, we need to make the sauce. However you wanted to describe it, basically the dipping sauce for this fish. And I highly recommend doing this before you fry them up. So they're still sitting there raw, they're about ready to go, get thrown in the fryer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you some of these ingredients. And so this is a little bit more liberal in the sense that there's no really exact measurements. This is just basically kind of going on feel. We got us some mayo, this is probably the most important thing. Worcestershire sauce, this is probably the second most important thing. And then from there, you can kind of get creative. I got some mustard already in here. Be kind of moderate with that because you already got the Worcestershire sauce bringing some pretty strong flavors in. Then you got relish, that's what I'll be adding. I'm gonna do a little bit of this Cajun seasoning. It's a little bit different than the Slap Your Mama. All right, so you just gotta kind of gauge it where you want to add it in. There's no measurements, like I said, it's all up to you. All right, so we have all our ingredients combined in here. You're just gonna want to mix it up, you know, get it going. It looks ugly now, but I promise you this, it's gonna look pretty delicious here in about a few seconds. This makes an awesome sauce. A lot of these bases and the basics of what these are pretty identifiable with most other chains and what they make for their secret sauces and stuff like that. All right, so this is what I recommend for all y'all guys out there that are married or in a serious relationship where the ladies aren't too keen on the fishy smell inside. So this is how I do it right here. Got my fillets ready, got my tongs. You know, this oil's been sitting here for a decent while. It's ready to go. You start throwing it on. You know, a big part of this is just kind of eyeballing it, you know, figuring out where and how it should be. There's nothing wrong with keeping it in there a little bit longer than what you might think. I want to make sure these get cooked nice and golden brown. That's the goal. So you just grab them like this and throw them on in there. Pretty simple process, to be honest. You want to start with the fatter, bigger ones because they're going to cook longer. You don't want to mix in these little ones with the big fat ones because then you're going to have to manage two different sizes. Yeah, it's cooking pretty fast, so I'm going to flip these over. I turned down the heat just a hair because it shouldn't be cooking this fast. So I just bumped it down just a little bit, that heat. You can see right in there. And just a reminder, you're going to want to break these fish open when they come right off. Just kind of get a feel for where the insides are at. Make sure they're cooked pretty well. Nice flaky white meat. All right, so if you see here, these are actually pretty dark. And the reason I want to do that is because these are the thicker parts of the fillets. I'm going to let these actually just go a little bit lighter. So I'm not going to let them fry as long because they're a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller pieces. And we have the finished product right here with our sauce. Just the little greens right there in the garden. Let's get it going. What is up, y'all? All right, so we just finished up fishing out here. We caught some amazing fish. Obviously, some amazing flatheads. By this boy right here. Give a shout out to your channel.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, if you guys want to see any more flathead or bass action, just check out Land Eagle 79 on YouTube. Just starting out, so just check me out. You know, starting out to get my channel up. But Gavin outside the center is pretty amazing with his content, so definitely give him a follow. Appreciate him for all the good company and the good talks, and definitely all the fish. So
once again, we're out here, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Boomer Lake.
That's right.
Thank you.
Possum.